slow down. You're going way too fast. To me, that's one of the most annoying phrases anyone could say. I mean, come on. Do you know how much I have to get done? How much there is to do? There's homework, tests, projects, movies to watch, games to play, friends to hang out with. There's always something to do, and certainly not enough time to do it. That's how I used to think. I was living life essentially on fast forward. I had trained myself to, and I saw nothing wrong with it. In truth, I was trying to speed through my life. I felt dissatisfied, and I wanted nothing more than to fill my life with as much as I could in an effort to distract myself. In other words, I was living somewhere else, detached from the present. I focused on anything and everything but living in the moment. To me, it was simply too much to bear the weight of everything I had to deal with. There was no other option. I couldn't really see how this affected me at the time. I mean, sure, it wasn't good for me, but I didn't see that. All I knew was that I wasn't thinking about my problems, and that was enough. It wasn't until the pandemic hit until I started to understand the repercussions of keeping myself almost constantly distracted. With in-person school indefinitely on hold and being unable to visit with my friends, I was left with more time than I could kill. And this was a wake-up call for me. I suddenly was forced to live in the present, and at first I hated it. I was stressed out, and that wasn't helped by the fact that the world around me seemed to be crumbling. It almost felt like I woke up from a dream, suddenly aware of the world around me, and I began to realize that I had been missing out. Sure, life is full of problems. There's a lot out there that is pretty scary. The pandemic, for instance, is something that really terrified me. But I also found out that life is full of things that make it worth experiencing, not just speeding through. The truth is, if you stop yourself from living in the moment, if you try to speed by everything, you'll experience the bad stuff less. That fact had almost blinded me. I was so obsessed with the idea of avoiding my own stress that I had cut myself off from experiencing the good stuff in life. I always thought, oh, well, things will be exactly the way I want them to be once I'm older, but that was just kicking the can down the road. Life will never be exactly the way you want it to be. There will always be problems that need solving, stress, sadness, frustration, but they're all just parts of life. It took a global pandemic for me to realize that I was watching my life, my own youth, slip through my fingers simply because I was afraid of feeling bad. So, I'm living in the moment. And honestly, I've never felt better. I'm not perfect, of course. There's still times in which I want nothing more than to fast forward again. But I can't let everything pass me by. Despite there being arguably more to worry about these days, I've taken charge of my life, and as cheesy as it sounds, I'm determined to face anything that comes my way, good or bad, because at the end of the day, life is meant to be experienced, not sped through. So, stop and smell the roses sometimes, because they won't always be in bloom. And as Ferris Bueller once said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you could miss it. This, I believe. Thank you.